box. Welcome to our next lesson. As you can see, James is trying to ski here behind me, but I may do something at the end too. So carry on watching. See you guys at the end.
Guys, last week we did David, this week we're doing a young lady in the Bible called Esther. And it's a really good story, so I'm going to try and tell you it, but I'm going to put my spin on it. And the first thing I'm going to put my spin on is this. So there was a king in Persia, right? And his name was, and I'm going to try and do this, it was Ahasuerus.
Bless you, James. What was his name, please?
No, it was Ahasuerus. I don't know. I'm going to call him Acha. There was a king called Acha, and no, not Achu. Acha. It's so bad. Ahasuerus, as known in Jewish. His Persian name was Xerxes. I will go with Xerxes. And he had a queen named Vashti. And he was married to the queen, and the queen disrespected him. So now when you get married, it's like a man and a woman and you're equal. But then the king was in charge and the woman did as she was told. So she didn't do as she was told, so he got rid of her. And he decided he needed a new wife. So he starts looking for this new wife. In the meantime, the Jewish people in Persia, they were there and they were thriving a little bit. They were servants, and so they basically, the Persians were higher up and the Jewish people would do whatever they were told. And the king was looking for a new wife. So there was this lady called Esther, and Esther was very beautiful, and she was living with her uncle, and her uncle was called Malachi, and he said to Esther, "Don't tell anyone you're Jewish." So she's like, okay. So she goes to meet the king, and the king falls in love with her, and he starts like wooing her and taking her out on dates, and they go to Spur. They probably didn't go to Spur, but they probably had food together. But yeah, this went on, and he fell in love with her, and they decided they were going to get married, so they got married. In the meantime, the king had this advisor who was jealous of the relationship of Esther and the king, because he wanted to be the king's like main guy, like his best friend, and now he's got married to this Esther who's beautiful and she's cool and the king's happy. And so this guy, this advisor, he decides that he's gonna sort Esther out. He figures out that she's Jewish. So he goes to the king and he says to the king, "You need to get everybody to pray to you. They're not allowed to pray to anyone else." Because he knows that the Jewish people would pray to God. But they're not allowed to do that. He makes it so they're not allowed to do that. The king agrees that they should only worship him. And anyone caught worshipping God or anybody else that isn't the king will be put to death. So Malachi hears about this and he gets upset, and he goes to Esther and he tells her, and he goes, "You better speak to the king on our behalf for the Jewish people." So she goes away and she talks to her people, and she fasts, and fasting means she doesn't eat food for like a while so she can get closer to God. And then she goes to the king and she tells him what's going on, and she says to him, "Look, I don't want you to kill my people because I'm Jewish as well." She takes that courage and that faith in God, knowing that God will protect her, and goes to the king and represents her people. She makes a stand, she shows courage. She stands in front of this all-powerful man and just lays it all out there. She's that person. She's just with such soul, tells him a story. And we should have had more people like this, and we did. So I know you've all watched the news as much as you're not supposed to. You've seen the looting that's going on, or was going on. And it was so bad and everyone was frightened, I understand, and everyone was worried about food being short and everything. But then we saw other things coming out. We saw people making a stand. We saw people coming together who normally would be arguing with each other, and they'll come out and they'll make a stand and they'll protect those that can't protect themselves. They'll protect the shops. They came out against what was happening. And one person made a stand, and it became 2 people and 3 people and 5 people. I don't expect you to step in front of leaders, I'm not asking you to. But if you see something going on that's not right, you can step up and go, "Wait, you see a kid at school being bullied." Talked about David last week, you can step up and go, "That's not right." You go tell a teacher, go tell them how to make a stand. And that's what Esther did. She chose courage, she chose God, and she stood in front of the king. And she saved the Jewish people. And they allowed them to actually pray and to their God, and still, obviously, out the king. But yeah. So guys, it's been fun. I hope you've heard about Esther today. Guys, I was doing so well. I was flying around. And then Natalie saw me, and then she came and pushed me, and she was on the big boat, and then I fell off, and I was stuck. I'm thinking, no, I can swim, I'm floating, don't worry, I'm fine. There's no sharks in this water, thankfully, so we should be okay. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you next week on Kids Will Ghost.